Okay.
You want to go ahead and get started since I know people are on time?
We're going to appreciate people's time today. We're not going to try and make this too long. So, yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I just want to thank you, ladies, really, for joining in on this opportunity because, you know, when I do anything, I have to share what I love, and that's how each and every one of us have like this unique setting how we met, and it's all through health, right? So everyone on this call today is because of our love for health. And it all started, you know, for me 3 years ago, which most of you all know why, you know, where I got started with everything. And that was my own health journey. And then when I shared that, I took the plunge. Hey, Laura. When I took the plunge to really take over my health, and I did. I lost 25 pounds, and I took the next step of sharing that. I have been able to help so many more people from just that power of the share, okay? And that's where I've met every single one of you, was from my own journey, starting there. And then it was the end of 2019, or 2018, is where Lydia and I, which I'll be talking about her in a little bit, she'll be speaking here soon. This is where I met Lydia, and we met through the Total Gym community because, you know, if you know me, you know I love Total Gym. So we were just talking, and this conversation came up. Of course, when you talk to me, you're going to talk nutrition. And to find out that Lydia is a nutritionist, I just wanted to pick her brain. I'm like, fill me up, you know, I can't get enough of this. And so that's where I learned about Juice Plus. And I just took it all in, and I was like, that's amazing. Like, this is a whole, you know, new, I've never heard of this, which is odd because for me, I come from a sales background, and I thought I knew all these products. And then to find out that something that's been underneath my nose is the same feeling I felt with Total Gym, where it's been underneath my nose for 40 years, and I didn't realize that that was what I needed. So anyway, I didn't start using those products right away. I thought, you know, I love that information. I love to hear about things. You know, I'm not the kind of person that just jumps in sometimes. I like to research. And I found myself really getting down on my immunity, okay? And for all you that know me, I'm a fitness guru, and I love to share that. And I was eating really well. And this was all before I even knew health coaching was even a thing. So I was just you know, pushing and working out and eating well. And for some reason, my body was just responding in this fatigue and getting sick. And my doctor was just like not used to seeing me, and especially every 2 weeks, every month. And she's just like, what are you doing? Something's not right. And it ended up spiraling out of control even more when I ended up getting so sick that I couldn't even keep hydration down. And I was almost going into these kind of like a scary seizure activity that was happening. I was blacking out and just can't control anything. I was alone in my home. So my husband comes home from work, finds me like this. I had probably blacked out, I don't know how many times, calling the ambulance. Next thing you know, I'm taken to the ER. My white cell count is just crazy high. And I had been sick off and on for 2 months, just couldn't get ahead. And I'm like, I'm doing everything right. They couldn't explain it. I mean, they didn't have any answers for me. And so I just kept doing on what I know is nutrition. And I, you know, did that. And I thought, oh my gosh, wait a minute. Lydia, she told me something about immunity and about Juice Plus. And it just clicked. And I reached out and I'm like, hey, what do I need? What do I need? Hook me up. And ever since then, which is now officially a year, I have been using this. So I was, you know, I've become a health coach since then. I have met some of these people on the call today because of all this. And I'm able to again, share something else that's helped me get to where I am. I'm 30 pounds down. I'm healthier than ever. And those that know me that are on this call, you know that I give a lot to my community with my fitness routines. I do everything I possibly can to share the knowledge that I have, and I love to learn more. And that's why you were hand selected. You were personally hand selected by me to be here, because I know that you feel the same way about health and helping others And just as a resource, even if this is just something to come on and say, I just want to hear, about nutrition some more because you love it so much and you know what it's done for you. So I really just want to introduce, and really thank Dr. Odom. You're just amazing, part of our medical research team right here and support that's going to add a lot of value today. So you ladies are in for a treat. And also my fabulous nutritionist, Lydia, who literally just introduced me to the love of Juice Plus and what it has done for me and my family. And then Suzanne will also be on this call. She's my newest team member, and she has a wealth of knowledge. She's a yoga instructor, a massage therapist, and she's also a fellow health coach. So that really resonates with me too, that we all see the value of nutrition. This is why you are here. So I'm gonna let Lydia and Dr. Odom just really take over and share all this goodness with my community.
Oh, thank you so much for that, and great introduction there. And I love hearing your story. So hi, everybody, and welcome, and thank you for joining us today, for getting on this call. And, all of you have either been invited by either Cassie or Suzanne because they think you're special and wanted to be sure that, that you were included in this call today. So we're happy you're here, and I hope you like our message and our mission. So to kick it off, and if you're working in this community, I think like everyone, everybody wants to get healthier. Do you agree? But there is a lot of confusing information out there. People find it confusing. They don't know where to start. So when people are confused, they do nothing. And we can help them with that. And we have some simple solutions for them. And so we're part of the Healthy Living Revolution. And what it is, it's thousands of others just like us. It's a unique community. And together, we're helping people take their health back, and we're taking our own health back in ways that are simple, doable, and fun. So we help families and individuals just like you and just like your families. And so we have a couple of different tools to do that. And one of them, to start off with, is our free resources. We have a lot of trending health videos to choose from. We have online cookbooks with recipes that are available, and a support system. And those are all free tools that either Cassie or Suzanne can help you with. They could send you the link later after this call. Another tool we have is our nutritional support. And, I think it's important that we're all flooding our bodies with fruits, vegetables, and berries. So much information about how plant foods are so important right now. And we have a way to kind of simplify things for people. So what we are is, we are 30 fruits, vegetables, and berries that have been grown, vine ripened, which is something that we don't get today, vine ripened, and then put into a capsule or a delicious gummy. And it's been minimally processed, so the live enzymes and the nutrients are still intact. And I'll show you what I mean by that. These are some of our blends. This is our blend of vegetables, including, and there's 10 different vegetables in here, but broccoli, parsley, kale, cabbage, garlic. This is our fruit blend. And then we have our berry blends. And with all the flu going around this year, this flu season, you hear a lot about elderberries, and we get elderberries. Okay. So that's one of the ways we do it. And so when you think about how many servings a day of fruits and vegetables that you get, or that you're supposed to get, what number comes to mind? Now, I'm a nutritionist. I used to teach in hospitals, decades ago, and we used to teach 3 to 5 servings a day. But now that number has gone up to 10 to 15 servings a day. And that's what's so difficult to do for people. Everybody's busy and eating on the run. And so it's also the cause of a lot of our health problems today. So we are kind of the easy button for people. So what makes this product so special besides the fact that it's just fruit, vegetables, and berries? Well, number one, It's not considered a vitamin or even a supplement. It's actually considered whole food concentrates. And number two, we have, there's been over 38 different medical journal studies on these products. They're considered safe. There's no warning label on them. They're safe for all ages, children, pregnant women, nursing mothers, even the elderly, and professional athletes. And we are NSF certified as safe to use. So that's a little bit about those products. We also have our omegas, which are, if you're familiar with, like some people call it fish oil, but it's basically omegas they're talking about. We have a vegan blend, and it is omegas 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And one of our other products is our protein powder, and this is called our Complete. It's more like a meal replacement. It's not just protein. So it's protein, carbs, fat. It's 15 different plants. So it's also high in fiber and high in, just loaded with nutrients, and considered a clean source of protein. So a couple of other things we have. We do have bars, and by the way, everything we have is gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, and nut-free. And I think when it comes to a bar, that's really important because a lot of people have issues with nuts. One of the things we're going to mention today is our tower garden, and that is an aeroponic growing system. It's a way for anybody to grow their own organic greens, indoors or out. We grow year-round. So I'll show you, this is a picture of my tower garden last summer. If you could see that. So it's vertical gardening, and there's no dirt. So in the wintertime, here in Michigan anyway, we move it indoors. But it uses 98% less water than traditional gardening. So it's very environmentally conscious, and also grows 30% faster with 30% more output. So as you can see, here's week 1. By week 4, you can actually start eating off of your tower. So in the morning, you can pick right from the tower. It can go right into your smoothie. Like I pick my greens, goes right into my smoothie in the morning, or into a pot of soup, in the evening, especially in the winter time. And I've got one more picture to show you because I think this is just beautiful. And it also, you can grow microgreens on here, which are a really concentrated source of nutrients. And it was actually developed by a man when he was at Epcot at Disney World. If you've ever seen the living gardens there, now he sells these exclusively through Juice Plus. We've got lots of people joining us so far. That's great. So when it comes to our health, what we like to promote is family health. And one of the ways we do that is by giving back. We actually give back to families like your families. And we call that, some people call that the Children's Health Study or our Healthy Family Starts. And so when somebody becomes a customer on our capsules or our chewables, they can sponsor a child for free for up to 4 years. And we've had close to 2 million children worldwide that have gotten Juice Plus for free. Because we don't want just you healthy, we want your family healthy. And it's made such a difference in the health of a lot of families. So a little bit of how I got started. I'm a nutritionist. I have been for decades and worked in hospitals pretty much all my life. And about 10 years ago, I became sick. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. And, I didn't even know what the term autoimmune meant at the time. It was new to me. Once I learned what I had, I was appalled that they just wanted me to take a pill and treat it, but I wanted to get to the root cause. And so, I was a nutritionist. I thought I was a healthy eater, much more so than 80% of probably the American public. But I was very sick and chronic fatigue. I couldn't lift myself off the couch for at least 3 hours a day. Couldn't even hold my own head up. And so fast forward years on steroids and prednisone and some other medications, I was actually I was invited to a smoothie party and wanted to go because I was looking for a good protein powder that I could trust. And so in the meantime, I was teaching a cooking class at the cancer center at our hospital, and it was about cancer prevention and reversal. And so they told me about the protein powder, which sounded great. And then they started telling me about these capsules loaded with antioxidants and phytonutrients. And those were keywords for me because that was everything we were teaching at the cooking class at the cancer center. And that was 5 years ago. And now every day, there's not a day that goes by that we don't hear about more plant foods and the power of plant foods, the nutrition, the antioxidants and phytonutrients. And that's critical for our cells to become healthier. Well, I thought it sounded kind of cool. So I've never taken a multivitamin in my life. I didn't believe in them. But they told me about this children's health study, this children's health program, and I wanted this product for my granddaughter. She was chronically constipated. So I'm like, okay, sounds good, sign me up. You know, she needs it, I don't, but that's okay. Well, I tell you, within a week, she was regular. But I started noticing, I started having more energy every day. I wasn't crashing on the couch in the middle of the day. And that became life-changing for me. And so that's when I really started researching, why would this be helping me, the healthy eater? And now, since then, I've learned a lot. I've done a lot of studying about it, and it's all starting to make sense because we're hearing more and more about all of our chronic health conditions today and how diet can play such a huge part. And so now that's kind of our mission. That's why some of us are here today, is we're on a mission to help inspire others to make changes to their diet, to assist them with whatever tools we can, and really to educate people that they can take back their health. And for some of you, for some of us, Juice Plus is a tool that we use to do that. And so when we're coaching people or educating people, this becomes a catalyst to whatever they're already doing, to whatever maybe changes you're helping them do. Juice Plus is going to make them feel results faster and sooner and better results. And so how did I get started in this as a business? Well, it made sense to me. And a little about the business itself. It's $52 a year. That's $1 a week to have your own business, whether it's online or person to person. We have no stock, excuse me, no monthly quotas or minimums, which is huge for me. I mean, basically all I have in my house, I mean, you can see even my protein powder, it's already open. These are things that we use every day. So we don't stock anything, and we can build worldwide. We're a global community. We're in, I think, close to 30 countries. But the company itself is 50 years old, very highly regarded. We're privately owned. And this Juice Plus product is 25 years old. And the fact that somebody knew 25 years ago how important this was going to become, I just think is amazing. So that's a little bit about our products and our business. And one of the things that makes us different as far as a corporate business is that when we get to some of the top levels, there is also a benefits package, tuition reimbursement, medical, dental, long-term care insurance. And so that's kind of unheard of when it comes to a direct sales company. But these can be solutions for a lot of people, whether it's health or wealth. And I'm going to pass this over now to Dr. Odom. Dr. Odom, he's actually down in Jackson, Mississippi. He's part of my support in our team, and he's been an MD OBGYN for over 40 years. I don't know, 17,000 babies you delivered or something like that, Dr. Odom. So he was a busy man. And now his focus really is, he's an expert on gut health and the microbiome. And I'm going to let him talk to you. So thank you so much, Bill.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you, Lydia. I'm thrilled to be with you, ladies. I'm in Mississippi. The sun's out, and it's about 64 degrees. We feel like it's still cold. I've got long sleeves on here. Just left the snow a few days ago in Chicago. Um, but I love what I do, and I've been so blessed. I did deliver babies all those years. My story and my journey really begins 1988. Some of y'all probably weren't born then, but my mother had colon cancer, and her doctor told me 5 things that have changed my life. Really, one thing that changed my life. The other 4 things I should have been doing. And he said, go get a colonoscopy. I was 44 then. He said, drink more water, give up red meat or cut way back, eat more high fiber foods. And the 5th thing he said was consume antioxidants. So like most people 30 years ago, consuming antioxidants would have meant starting vitamins, which I did. And we did that for 10 years, but I really started reading, and I read an awful lot. And everything I read said, get your nutrition from food, whole food, plant food, preferably raw. If you're going to cook it minimally, because that's really where the nutrition is. And when you break nutrition down, micronutrition, tiny parts of nutrition, that's exactly what Juice Plus represents, the company that Lydia and I have been a part of. For me, it's so it's almost 23 years. So when I started, we only had fruits and vegetables, and then since then they've added the berries, the omega. They've improved the complete powder. It's a smoothie mix or a protein mix, but it's also a great source of prebiotic fiber. So all of this has been a journey for me. It's been a journey for this company. As Lydia said, it's a 50-year-old company, but they've really been focusing on nutrition and on Juice Plus for over 25 years. When I first started with Juice Plus, eating enough plant foods, and specifically fruits and vegetables, and certainly not berries. And but all of these we know are good for us. We know everyone in this country, almost without exception, doesn't consume them consistently enough or consume enough on a daily basis. So a lot of people are missing out on what Juice Plus can do for them, and it really bridges the gap between what you are eating and what you should eat. And for us, it has made all the difference in the world. I'm 75, almost 76. No one in my family's lived to be 80. That's as far back as we know. And so we don't have that longevity gene. I'm learning so much about slowing down aging. I was a medical director of an anti-aging clinic for the last 13 years of my practice. And now I'm totally out of the office, and I'm on the road, and I'm supporting people just like Lydia, and hopefully Cassandra or Cassie and Suzanne, and maybe some of you ladies. I love travel, and I love helping people understand the role that nutrition plays. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a researcher, but I have written multiple papers, and they've all had something to do with nutrition. When I was delivering, I had 242 mothers the last 4 years that I delivered that consumed Juice Plus, and their pregnancy outcomes were totally different than my patients and my partner's patients that didn't see the value of spending just a little bit of money to be sure that they got all of their nutritional support. And for me, when people are saying, well, I eat healthy, I eat lots of plant food, especially fruits and vegetables, so why would I want to add Juice Plus? And my answer to them is, well, you probably have good health. And they say, yeah, my health is good. And I say, well, in my opinion, Juice Plus is a difference in good health and excellent health, or good health and optimal health. And no one in my family takes medicine. I've got 5 boys. All of them have been on Juice Plus as long as we have. My youngest is 28. He's almost 29, started in the 2nd grade. He didn't miss one day of school while he was in school. He's now out and working, and he hasn't missed a day of work because of illness. we haven't had the flu shot. I'm not suggesting that you do or don't, but I do know that when we're eating these phytonutrients, these plant compounds, whether we're eating them on the plate or whether we're eating them out of these pills, we are supporting our immune system. And in fact, Joel Fuhrman's book, Super Immunity, he says you will not have good health unless you have an overabundance of these phytonutrients. So we know plant foods are good for us. I didn't know that they're so good that they'll save your life. We do know there are over 7,000 studies worldwide in the last 70 years that say this, and that is the more fruits and vegetables, but plant food that we consume consistently every day, the more we do that, the more we reduce the risk of all chronic diseases. We know that chronic inflammation is the common denominator for all chronic diseases, and we know that the more plant foods that we eat, because they're donating electrons, that's what an antioxidant is, to neutralize a free radical, which is missing an electron. We know that the more plant foods that we eat, the lower our risk for all these chronic diseases, because we're reducing oxidative stress, which by definition is too many free radicals that we can't handle. So that was what I knew when I started in 1998. And since then, there's so much more literature and so many more research papers and so many more books that are written about the value and the benefit of plant food. We know, Lydia said I lecture on gut health. Well, gut health is certainly part of our overall health, as all you health coaches know. And if our gut is not healthy, well, then we're not going to be healthy. So how can we make our gut healthier? We can feed the good bacteria that are in the gut, and the good bacteria primarily are thriving on phytonutrients and fiber. The non-beneficial Firmicutes bacteria that most people in our country now are feeding. Excuse me 1 second. See, if you eat a lot of plant food, you can stifle sneezes too. Excuse me, where was I? Okay, let me catch back up. The more beneficial bacteria that we're supporting, the better our health. And the more non-beneficial bacteria that we're supporting, which is the standard American diet, that we're contributing to leaky gut. If those of you on the call know what leaky gut is, it just really means that your body's inflamed. It's beyond inflamed, and it's affecting your immune system. It's affecting every organ system, including your central as well as your enteric nervous system. And so if we have leaky gut, it's amazing how many other conditions, medical conditions and chronic diseases are associated with that. What we're also finding is that there's a new area of science that's emerging, and it's called epigenetics. And we can't change our DNA. We have 46 chromosomes. That's our DNA. We do know that we have 24,000 genes, and we can turn these genes on and off. We have the breast cancer gene, and we have a breast cancer protective gene, and there's more than one. We have a longevity gene. There are about, I don't know, there are fewer than 50 that have been identified now. And if we're turning those longevity genes on, and if we're turning those breast cancer genes off, that we can literally postpone or prevent chronic diseases. So all of that is so exciting for where we are in the world, and certainly in the world of medicine. And I think you would all agree in this country that medicine is broken. Our population is unhealthy. Over 65% of the population is overweight. In Mississippi, it's over 80%. A large percent of those that are overweight are also obese. So, but just think of, in the country, 65% of the calories that are consumed in this country are from processed food, which carries minimal, if any, nutritional benefit. And 25% of all the calories consumed are animal sourced. So that's over 90% that is processed food and animal. And I'm not saying animal's bad, it's just that we eat far too much of it. it leaves less than 10% for fruits and vegetables and berries and plant food. And of the plant food that we eat, amazingly, over half of those, or over 5 of that 10%, is from the white potato, which doesn't have nearly the nutritional value as all the other colorful foods that have so many nutritional benefits. So that's 5% of the calories consumed in the country are what we should be eating. Now that is terrible. That is pathetic. That's sad. It's atrocious. And so Juice Plus has a role to fill in the gaps. And we all of us that have been doing this for some time now are realizing more and more and more how critical it is that we augment our diet with what is missing. So at that point, you did a great job on the front end there of describing what Juice Plus is and the company, Lydia. But I would love if anyone has questions. I'd love to try to address any issues that you might have. Okay, I'll keep talking, but y'all unmute and be thinking of something you might want to ask. People are always saying, well, when I'm asking them if they've ever heard of Juice Plus, and they say no. And so what I've found is that people really want to know 2 things, basically. How much is it? What's it going to do for me? So the best part about what Juice Plus is, our fruits and vegetables and berries, we call that our trio. That's over 30 foods. That's a little bit more or a little bit less than $2.50 a day. It's a $75 a month nutritional commitment, and it's about it's now about maybe 10 cents a food. 9 cents, 10 cents of food. For me, that's nutritional insurance. We have it on our house and we have it on our cars, and we don't have it on our lives. I mean, we have life insurance, but we don't have to do that will make a difference positively every day in extending our lifespan and giving us a better quality of life for the time that we do have. So that's the best part. It's a minimal outlay. But the magic of Juice Plus isn't what it costs. It's what it does. And food does things for the body, and medicine does things to the body. So we're not a medicine. We are not a supplement. We have a food label, just like the oranges that you mentioned, or the cantaloupe, or whatever you buy at the grocery store. The label is real simple. It says orange, or it says apple. So you don't really have to know all the separate ingredients and how much milligrams of this or milliequivalents of that or micronutrients or international units, any of those things. What we know is that the magic of all this is the consistent intake and the synergy of all these things functioning together. So nature does it much better than we do. Man does, because there are only 13 vitamins and they all come from a factory. You might call it a lab, but it's a building, and it's man-made. And most of them, sadly, most of them are from overseas, primarily China. So the cost is the best thing. So what's it going to do for you? It's amazing. It affects every area of physiology, every organ system, and certainly every system in the body. Works better, functions better, is more efficient. It reduces mitochondrial dysfunction. There's just so many different things that it does, but it affects all of them. It affects every area of physiology. So you're in a great place. We're all in a great place. If you've never heard of this before, you're in a great place to investigate or evaluate more and see exactly what it is. We would encourage you to kick the tires and learn a little bit more, because my guess is you're going to want to jump on this bandwagon with us, and you want to share this with other people after you've determined for yourself that it's beneficial for you and it has value and it's worth talking about. So I love where I am now. I love delivering those babies. I love my patients. but I love even more. I've touched more people in 22 years than I did in 45 practicing medicine, just because I can go all over and I can impact everybody that hears me, who is going to go and tell somebody else, and they're going to tell somebody else. And I just love changing people's lives and making a difference. So I'll be quiet for 30 seconds, and if you don't ask a question, I'll just start talking again. So I'm just kidding.
Dr. Odom, it's Cassandra here.
Yes.
So yeah, I love your passion. I mean, that's obviously, I just love listening to you talk about this. You can go on and on. I really want you to, even touch base on that medical research, because that floored me whenever I got to dive in to the publications of that. This was not tested on animals. This was all human done. And also to touch base on, they use every part of the food, the peel, like how important, an orange peel is, and how they use the seeds and all that, and how they pick this vine ripened food, and then within 6 hours it's encapsulated. Like the importance of all that process that we're not getting with our grocery store food today, and of course the research that backs it.
Well, literally, I would not be on this call. I would not have spent my last 22 plus years singing this message if we didn't have research. I've heard too many testimonials from many other areas. People have asked me to look at a lot of different things. And the first thing when they bring me something, I'll say, I'm sorry, give me the research. I'm not going to take the time, but bring me the research. And more often than not, I don't hear from them again. But it's the research that stands out. Our company spends very little, in fact, virtually nothing on advertisement. We're doing that right now. This is the way that we market this, is we do the advertising. We do, well, I can't say our company doesn't do this, but the media is doing it for us. Every month, every week, every day, virtually, there's a message that we're not eating enough plant foods, that we're overweight, that we're unhealthy, that autoimmune diseases are up 2,000% in the last decade. Dementia and Alzheimer's are epidemic, and that if you live to be 70 years old, there's a 70% chance that you'll develop dementia. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. We don't think about prevention until we get into a crisis, or maybe a family member does. If everybody on this call, not on this call, that's 25 years old, 21 years old, that's considered an adult, if they change the way that they live, we could all live to be well over 100, almost without exception. We're just doing this to ourselves. And fortunately, our research, which is where our company spends their money, is telling us and telling the world that yes, oxidative stress is reduced, that Juice Plus is absorbed, and what it does when it gets absorbed goes all over the body. We have 39 studies where our latest study was on the intestinal microbiome. That's the gut flora, the bacteria that are in the trillions that are primarily in our large intestine called the colon. And that was done at the University of Memphis right there in Tennessee, which is where our distribution company is. And one of our previous studies was done in Australia at the University of Newcastle, and it was on genetic activation or genetic expression, turning genes on and turning genes off. And they studied over 1,600 genes, and that were altered, either turned on or turned off. The beneficial genes, the protective genes, turned on, and the destructive or non-protective genes turned off. And that's the power of nutrition, and that's Juice Plus just over a 2-month period of time. So we know that fruits and vegetables are good for us. You didn't know until maybe today. I didn't know until I got involved with what Juice Plus is. The company, when they started in '93, had no clue how Juice Plus was going to be. accepted or how Juice Plus was going to be studied. They didn't have a clue, but our company has done this beautifully, in my opinion, brilliantly, in that they aren't pushing this on people. They're educating them and letting them make the decision. And when you hear this, when people realize that their lifespan is reduced by eating the standard American diet, how destructive and how inflammatory sugar is and processed food, it makes you think, at least if you aren't changing your diet, it makes you think, well, why am I not? And why should not everybody? And plant food, literally non-GMO, better than organic plant food, which is what we have, in my opinion. It's better than anything that you can buy in the grocery because the sugar's removed. And you don't have to deal with that inflammatory. Now, you can't live on these pills, but they can surely improve your overall health if you don't do another thing, if you don't change another thing. Now, obviously, if you do make changes, then you are seeing an improvement in your lifespan and in your overall health and vitality, and that should be what we all want anyway. So, but it's been shown that if you don't make another change, you just add Juice Plus, and you do it consistently. If you can do that, it literally changes your life. So we call that one simple change. Add everything we have, make some other changes if you want to accelerate getting back into better health or accelerate getting into that state of optimal health. So other questions or other comments? So, oh, I'm sorry. So what you can do, Cassie, I know you have, Suzanne, I bet you have, Lydia, I know you have, I have. You can go to our website. You can download every study we have. You can get a summary, an abstract, or the entire article. It's there to be read for everybody that wants to. You don't have to memorize it. You don't even have to know about it. But it's good to. What I'm trying to say is you don't have to be able to regurgitate it, but you can surely send people to your website so that they can inform themselves and be better in a better place and certainly better informed.
Absolutely, that was wonderful. Is there any questions from any of you ladies that are on the call, or anything, Lydia, that you want to add? I'm trying to make sure that we touch on everything. There's so much we could talk about.
Well, if anybody has any questions, just type in the chat and I'll unmute you. One of the things that I didn't mention was our Shred 10 program. And our products are not weight loss products, but the Shred is a 10-day jumpstart to our 4-month program. And but it basically is a detox, a cleanse, a jumpstart. But people start feeling amazing, and they can start making those changes. And 10 days does a lot to jumpstart their health. It actually has an impact on their gut health and their microbiome. It can start actually changing their gut health for the positive. And people start actually craving more fruits and vegetables. They start craving healthier foods. And some people continue on. They feel so good on it, they continue on. Maybe they're trying to make changes towards a more positive weight. And so it can help them with that too. So, but that's one of our programs, and there's a lot of free resources that go along with that too.
Hey, Lydia, one thing I love that you touch on, and I don't think we mentioned, is about the womb to tomb. Can you mention that real quick about with the younger, our little ones, how to start them with that imprinting? I love how you explain that.
Sure. I don't know if you saw that video, it was awesome. So some of the things, and I mentioned all of our products are safe 6 months through the elderly. So an infant can actually have our capsules, and what they do is they'll open the capsules and starting at 6 months, sprinkling them on the baby's tongue, and that actually starts imprinting on their brain so that they start getting used to and craving fruits and vegetables. But something that Dr. Odom mentioned to me last time I saw him is it also starts improving their gut health. it starts already changing the microbiome for the more positive. So we have a video of this little 1-year-old, I think she's a year and a half, where she just takes the capsules and eats them. It's amazing. But all of our products, even our protein powders, can be used in tube feedings. They can be used in young children, pregnant women, and certified safe even for athletes who are under so much oxidative stress that it can actually, you know, exercise is great, but it does have an impact on our health. It can be damaging because of the oxidative stress, and antioxidants can help reverse that and counteract that.
Excellent.
Cassie, if I can make a comment about the womb to tomb.
Yes, please.
When I would see patients for pre-pregnancy counseling, and they would bring their significant other with them, it was important to me to address get as healthy as you can before you're thinking about getting pregnant. Unfortunately, nationally, 50% of all pregnancies are unplanned. In Mississippi, it's above 80%. You didn't need to hear that, but we're just not educated. We're not smart. We're not proactive, and we're very unhealthy. But this is what we found is that if both the male and the female will start Juice Plus prior to conception, it makes conception much easier, much faster. There have been studies done with sperm in these men compared to before and after Juice Plus. And I had a lot of patients that were sent to me. I was not an infertility specialist, but it seemed like I had a following, and that if somebody had a friend who was having issues with conceiving, they came to me. I took a history, did all the routine things, and most of the time that all the studies were normal. Their tubes were open, they were ovulating, and maybe not as consistently, but all the different things that we could see was sperm motility, sperm number, etc. And you know, there are a trillion sperm over a lifetime, and there are 400 or 500 eggs, and we know that they're healthier, not more, but better nutrition. So it seems that I didn't keep up with this. I should have, but everybody that came in my office that was trying to conceive got the message that plant food was good for them, and that the Juice Plus might make a real impact. And I would guess that half the patients that came to me with infertility issues conceived in the first year. That's a guess. I know it was more than 25%. But this is something else that we know today, is that what a mother eats while she's pregnant influences her child that she's carrying. And not just that child, but that child's child. And not just that second generation, but the third, the fourth, and the fifth generation are all affected by the foods that the mother eats while she's pregnant and carrying that baby. And so we know that babies that are born to moms that consume Juice Plus for their entirety, and certainly beginning not later than the end of the first trimester, those babies were just healthier. And I wrote a paper. It was on pregnancy, but we also know that those babies are just started, had a healthier head start than all the rest of them. And it's just been amazing to watch this journey, and how these powdered fruit and vegetable plant foods, these plant sources, how they affect all of us. And I'm telling you, we're on the cutting edge, because a prenatal vitamin is not going to be what we're doing in the future. It's going to be in the very near future. It will be some supplementation, but it will be with real food. And we're just in a great place at the right time, in the right country, with the right team, with Lydia. You heard how impressive she is. And we're delighted that you ladies are on, and that we can impact a lot of people. So we are here to support you and help you with whatever you might want to do with this.
Thank you for that. Well, I want to be appreciative of everybody's time. I know it's the middle of the day, but I appreciate you all getting on. And so thank you for listening today. And I also have just a couple things to think about. So number one, who do you know that maybe is ready to take the next step of their health? Who do you know that maybe needs to hear this information or that you would like to share it with? So some of the information you heard today, you can start maybe applying it to your life. Or maybe you want to take the next step and hear more about our products or even our mission that we're on. Suzanne and Cassandra, Dr. Odom, we're all here to support you. And hey, Suzanne, how are you? Thanks for joining. We're from all over the country, and sometimes some of us haven't even met in person. So, but this is a business we can build globally, which is so amazing. And we've got the Tower Gardens. We've got a lot of options for people. But so if you wanted more information on the products or our mission, we're here to answer any questions. Reach out to one of the ladies that invited you here today. But either way, don't wait to get sick to get healthy. And thanks for joining us today. So
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Lydia. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Odom, Lydia.
Thank
Great
you.
call.
Thank you, ladies.
Great call. Thank you all.